Was that informal or formal?
It was informal.
Who did you talk to, and what was your impression?
It was a great conversation. I talked with the defensive line coach, man. I enjoyed everything. I enjoyed every talk.
What's a strength of yours in the run game that you think shows up very well?
I would say my disruptiveness. I feel like a lot of the times when it comes to the run game, man, I'm knocking off pullers, destroying blocks, things of that nature, man. I really take pride in doing that.
People will talk about your game. They'll talk, maybe you don't have prototypical size, but you're seeing more and more guys kind of your size light it up in the NFL. Do you feel like you can be one of those players, and what do you take from that wave kind of coming in of these explosive three-tech passers?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, that's exactly how I see myself and nothing less. I mean, I don't really see undersized and things of that nature, man. I just think that's something that, people like to push just because they're trying to knock a guy. I really take pride in that, and that's really been the chip on my shoulder throughout this whole process, man. Just knowing that I can play with anybody, and I show it every day, just turning on the tape.
You look at a guy like Elijah Cansey, for example, that kind of came out, was undersized, was a first-round pick. Now he's playing really well. Do you look at a guy like that and say, that could be kind of the blueprint of what I do?
1,000%. I love watching those kind of guys. Guys like Elijah Cansey, Grady Jarrett, Geno Atkins, those kind of undersized defensive linemen, just watching them dominate the game, man. I just see that in myself so much and want to go out there and, replicate the things that they do out there on the field.
Why do you think that so many of those guys are starting to peek through a lot? You're seeing a lot more of those guys than you've seen in years past.
No doubt about it. I just think the game is changing. I just think it's 2025. A lot of times you need defensive linemen to go chase around guys like Lamar Jackson and, Kyler Murray and guys like that, man. Those 350-pound kind of guys, man, it's a tough ask for them.
When you got Aaron Donald like the start of that for you?
I think so.
And you think teams saw what he was able to do and said, well, maybe not all these guys are as good as Aaron Donald, but you can have success with a guy that size?
1,000%. I feel like he was kind of starting those kind of, changing the movement or changing the narrative on, undersized defense tackles in that aspect, man. I feel like with his help and, coming along with guys like Grady Jarrett, Elijah Cansey, man, we're only pushing the narrative and just showing the NFL that, there's a skill set and there's a place for guys like that.
When you talked to Coach Dunbar at the Steelers, was that at the Zoo or was that Senior Bowl or where did that?
I don't remember everything exactly about it.
Gotcha.
When you talk about the size thing as well, they're even asking guys like that to not just play three tech, but sometimes they're creeping into 1 or going out to 5 or playing 7. Is this something you kind of pride yourself on, not just pure 3? You feel like you can play down the line a little more?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I feel like that's one of the best parts about my tape is just how many diversified alignments I've lined up in all year. Whether that was me lining up at a stand-up 5 technique or whether, that was me lining up over the center. I mean, I feel like throughout my career I've had such a great opportunity, line up in so many diverse alignments where I feel comfortable at them all.
What's something that you worked on specifically in your college career that you saw come to fruition in a moment that you realized, like, man, I did that?
I would probably say my spin move versus Miami. I felt like that was at a crucial time in the fourth quarter. We really needed to stop at the moment. And, I remember working that move over the offseason. So, it was just a real satisfying moment seeing my work come to fruition.